Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio, the finest farm-to-table Bible study on the internet. Well, it's probably the only farm-to-table Bible study, but that being said, this is fresh and it's delicious. I grow it, you eat it, it's good. Come on in today. We've got Psalm 15 on tap. We're going to be looking at all 5 verses this week. And Psalm 15 is the other side of Psalm 10. Psalm 10, the second half gave us, well, the first and the second half gave us the wicked man. And that man is described in 14 characteristics, and we've gone over that. You can go to the blog, my-dailydose.com, find the article that I wrote about the wicked man, describing each one of those characteristics. You can look here in Psalm 15 and see the other side of that. And there's so much really good stuff here in Psalm 15. We have 12 characteristics of this fellow. Some of them are positive in that they are what he does, and some of them are negative in those that he doesn't do. So it's almost like the commandments. We have positive and negative both in the 10 Commandments. Now we have these 12 characteristics of the godly man or the righteous man, or I'd like to call him, if you'll allow me to name him, we're going to call him the redeemed man. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get into that here as we go forward with the psalm today. Let me read for you verse 1 from my translation. O Lord, who can sojourn in your tabernacle? Who can dwell in your holy mountain? Now, we're just going to treat Psalm 1 today, and isn't Psalm 1 very interesting, especially the way it's placed as the first verse in the psalm that follows Psalm 14? You see, because Psalm 14 was about man's inability to seek God. We're corrupt. We are totally corrupt. There is nothing good in us whatsoever. So the Bible makes that very clear, that the corruption of man is deep. There's no one who seeks God, not even one. Not even one. Out of all humanity, no one seeks him. It is only the Spirit of God that does a work in us. So now, the psalmist comes here in Psalm 15, and we have this question, O Lord, who can sojourn in your tabernacle? Who can dwell in your holy mountain? Well, we know the answer to that question, don't we? Nobody. Nobody can dwell in his tabernacle or in his holy mountain because nobody's holy. Nobody's good. Nobody seeks after the Lord. He has found both Jew and Gentile under sin. That's the judgment of heaven. We have a rhetorical question here at the very beginning, and we know the answer to verse 1 because we just read Psalm 14, and we understand the depravity of man. It is complete, and there is no division amongst all the tribes of men. All of them do wrong. So, what are we to do? Well, this good question that is asked, kind of puts us in a panic a little bit, because we're going to find out something about the person that can dwell in the tabernacle and can abide in the holy mountain. And so what do we say about that? If there's somebody who can do it, if there's somebody who can sojourn in God's tabernacle, then apparently they can't do it of themselves. There must be a working of God in that person's life to allow them to dwell in the tabernacle and dwell in the holy mountain. Because of our own ability, of our own volition, there is nothing in us that makes us good enough to go there. We are all kept out from it. Just like the angel kept the way to the Garden of Eden with the flaming sword, so our own wickedness keeps us out of God's presence. We can't go there. There's no way. There is no path to it. So God has to be doing a work somehow to make men able to come into his presence. And that's what we're going to talk about this week. That's why I want to call this guy the redeemed. This is a definition of the redeemed. Not of somebody who just works up goodness or righteousness on their own, because that can't happen. No, this is somebody who has been affected by the Spirit of God. I hope you'll join me all week. Don't miss tomorrow's broadcast. And I'll see you then on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.